Alright, we're going to be watching Leo playing Sigma on Circuit Royale. This is Grandmaster 2 on PC. So, high rank game. Really high rank game, in fact. Recently, I've been losing straightforward games that look really easy on paper. I have quote unquote excellent, I don't know if you're joking or not, game sense, but my positioning slash ult usage need work. The Mirror Sigma was well in my favor in the first half, but terrible when enemy tank went for Matra. With this VOD review, I hope to refine my gameplay and reach top 100 next season. Okay, let's play it out. I've already done a pre-watch of the first half, and I do agree that your Sigma versus Sigma looks very good.
Collapsing the barrier. Actuating the barrier.
Pretty good, right? Good prediction on where that Hanzo's going. Come up top. Pretty normal. I don't think you had to throw a shield there. I think the Sigma's already backing up, but it's fine. I think I would have rocked right here. I'm surprised that you didn't. So right here, activate rock, because he's clearly going to have to try to get back, and he wants to get back this way. I think we can all agree that the Sigma wants to get back this way, and not this way where he take a lot more damage and be further away from his team and be caught out in the open. So right here, I would have read the situation, and because I'm so close, I would have a good confidence that if I hit rock here, A, he's going to have trouble getting shield up because it's so close, but B, it probably results in a kill if I can do that. So I would have gambled right there and gone for it, even though I know he has shield available. I don't go for this rock because I think this is a very low percentage rock. There's no reason that this Widow should have eaten this rock. Like, it's so obvious that it's coming. And like, yeah, you actually landed it and then like it gets a kill, but I don't think that's consistent. You see the Mercy going for the res, you immediately go for it. I think that as a small optimization, you could have thrown shield. Like, after you fire 2 shots, throw shield, and then keep going here, for example. But you're high health, so you're not in any danger of dying or anything like that. So this goes so fast. I think you have a DPI changer on your mouse because you snapped so fast. I thought the video skipped. Right? Like, what the heck is this? I have no idea how you managed to snap that fast, that like reasonably accurately. But that DPI felt like it was like a million. That's some crazy muscle memory right there. But sure, we'll take it. I think it's good rock. Unfortunately, you missed again, staircase. You could just aim a little higher. Kill lamp. Great, very good job pushing the pace, understanding that you're ahead. You don't have shield right now, which I would have thrown. Does your shield break or do you release it in time? You should have released the shield earlier. Yeah, you were full health. You didn't need shield. So it's like a little bit. Okay, shield breaks, so you can't block the rock. You do a good job dodging it. Walk through shield. I would be careful about walking through shield here because the only way we lose is if I die. So I personally would not walk through that shield because you could have died right here with the Baptiste and the Hanzo plus like Sigma. Like, if they just split up on 3 sides, you die here. So I think this is actually very reckless. Even understanding that you have grasp, I think that you could have died here very easily and they should have punished you for that. If I was Sigma, I would have shielded behind you, walked behind you, and started attacking. Because again, like, all you had to do was stay back. The Sigma couldn't challenge you. He's too low to conceivably stop the cart. So I think playing back was safer and more consistent and leading to a win. When Sigma comes forward to block cart, right, which is the right call. He's not looking at you, so you throw rock, which is okay. I think the Sigma made a mistake not looking at you. That's fine. Stay on high ground, cap, great. You kill turret, continue to farm ulti. So right here, you're gonna pop ulti. I don't agree with this ulti. I don't think, first of all, like, you just cap, it's gonna be wild for it to move forwards. Like, if you kill here, like the Sigma just died recently, it doesn't feel like enough of a stagger to be worth it. I would rather save ulti here than pop it. Land hit, die. Like, I get it, like, feels good, like, momentum-wise, but I don't think it's actually a good ulti. I would have preferred to wait for the next one. You pop grass there, I think mostly to make sure that you don't get burned down any further. You must recognize that you're really far ahead of your supports right now. Again, like, look at where the cart is. Where is your other support, by the way? Oh, your Mercy died. So I think you need to chill and not try to continue pushing this corner. I think I need you to accept the fact that all this you cannot hold, right? You probably need to hold like back here, and if you can do it safely and get back, that's fine. I personally would feel unsafe about being able to pull that off, and I think I possibly could have died. If the Sigma pushed me at full speed, I don't think that I should survive here. That's my instinct, right? But you're the GM too, so higher than me. All right, you get super low. Again, that's a great example where I think you should die here. 1, 2, misses, right? So Did he actually miss you, or did you shield in time?
Let me take a look.
He misses. Yeah, you should be dead. Because the 60 damage a shot and you have 50 health. So you should be dead right now, which would be a massive stagger. I think you're playing it too close. And I don't think it's a skill thing. I think you're just relying on the enemy team missing. I would not expect Hanzo to miss me at that range with storm arrows. You should be dead. So I think you should be careful here. And I think that some of your games where you lose, you might get punished for stuff like that, and you just don't realize that you're like a little too aggressive. Especially with your Mercy dead there. Echo dies here. Could you have done something about this? Sort of. I think the key thing is that you got too low. Like, if I play back, you're very aggressive, Sigma, right? If I play a little more conservatively, I'm probably here on my team. I prevent this Hanzo from ever peeking over the top. But because you get so aggressive and you get so low, you're not in position to deflect this Hanzo, which allows him to step up and then go kill your, well, Widow, I guess. But either way, I think that I would probably have more frontline presence than you because I wouldn't have had that massive drop-off in health, which forced me back. Now you're down one. Go for the rock. I'm surprised you didn't kill him right away with the rock. Like, after you throw this. I guess you realized he was around the corner. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Yep, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, you're up one right now. No. I'm surprised that you throw shield here instead of grasping, but I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I think it's reasonable. You try to rock, obviously you get lifted. Miss, but it's roughly the target, best you can do. Try to stay alive. Again, very lucky that nobody's actually targeting you. Kill, team plays well. Great. Walking forwards. I think it's good of you to take high ground right now. Very smart. I'm surprised you did not get this kill right here. So whack, and you whiff it. Unfortunate. I think she like slides under it or something. Or what actually happens here? Yeah, I think he just like she kind of scoots a little further than you expect, but you probably couldn't have gotten the one shot anyway. All right, still holding high ground. I'm very surprised that they're not targeting and killing you here, because in this situation, like if I saw the soldier and I saw that you don't have rock and you don't have and your shield's already out and you don't have grass, I think the soldier should have just killed you at 200 health. That's very surprising. Down shield. Yeah, now you're in a weird position. Yeah, almost killed. You get the one shot. Oh wow, you get it anyway. Yeah, I think you do a pretty good job there with the situation you have. Again, I think you make a lot of generally good decisions here, I would say, in terms of what you did. I think that's all fine. So Kiriko Swift steps out. You end up whiffing the soldier with this, which is unfortunate, but again, it's pretty fast. So I think you put it in basically the right spot, right? It is what it is. Kill the soldier, great. Kill the soldier, good. Put shield back down. Right, throw a shield forward for your soldier, perfect, right? It's funny, I noticed this in the game. I've never seen an extended fight happen out here with tanks like this. Like, this is so rare at lower ranks. And I think it makes total sense when I saw it, but this, like, never happens. Generally speaking, defense teams, like, give this space up, like, very quickly and easily. I don't agree with that rock. I don't think the rock was high value. He was full health. I think you save rock for a better opportunity, right? Rock's a long cooldown. You're going to get a better option for rock. Like, right now, you could have rocked the soldier into that pillar, for example. Or forced the slide at least. Or, you know, have rock right now. So it's interesting. You see... Yeah, this is another example. I think you're a little too quick to fire. I guess you saw her stepping forward, and then you're like, okay, now I have no choice. Because throwing at the soldier, I think is a bad call. But the soldier, if she stepped up, that's a better call. When I see the soldier stepping forward like that, I immediately run forwards because I want to cut off, like hopefully body block and prevent her from going wider. Because she has to get all the way out to here to even have a chance at hitting, and probably she gets out to here. That's close enough that if I start running forward immediately, I might have body blocked her to throw off her aim. So I think your instinct here, especially being a 490, should have been to walk forward, not backwards. And one of the things is that you're hopping, which prevents you from moving directions quickly. Right? You see that hop? I'm pretty sure you would have tried to walk forwards if you weren't in the air. So I would say just jump less. You saw the Mercy come over super low. I would have checked to figure out where she went. Like, you saw that she was super low over here. Fly in. I would have continued peeking this corner, right? You go... Oh, because the soldier jumps over the top. That's why you do it. Okay, so now you come over here. That's fine. Release your shield. You still have shield up. So you missed this. Actually, no, you hit her. Where the heck did she go? How does this happen? Oh, does she start sliding? Is that what happens? Like, how does she go down the stairs? Yeah, she starts sliding, and that's what happens. I think you're missing a bunch of these close range rocks, and I think that you might want to consider faking it out, and for example, aiming at the soldier and then going for the Mercy. The Mercy's not even looking at you right now. So it's far more likely you land the shot on the Mercy, and she doesn't have that quick, slide that Soldier does, and that rock kill on the rock hit on the Mercy is going to result in a kill here for sure. So I think that you should have gone for the Mercy there. Missing that rock is going to cost you, or should have. All right, and this all just ends up being cleanup from here. I don't think I pop ulti in this location. I think you're trying to move the cart forwards, but with nobody actually on the cart, it's not really worth it. I would have followed them into that corner because you saw them scatter. I would pop it basically. The one thing I would think about for Sigma ulti is not necessarily, like, one, do it as soon as possible, which is typically, I think, the best policy. But in this situation where they have very limited space is to actually see where they run and see if it's an easier ulti. So here, the soldier's stuck in the corner. I would push it towards here and then pop it in the corner and then make sure I get the soldier. You get the Mercy anyway, so great. I'm surprised you did not attack there. I do not know why you didn't. That felt like a straightforward kill, right? After you throw the rock, immediately hold down left click, and then this is a kill. Very surprised you did not attack there. So for Doom, I think you want to force his mobility out a little bit. Because he's obviously not planning on getting kills. You see what I'm saying? He's just going to stall and cart. He's not trying to kill your backline or anything. So I think you start attacking him until he starts using mobility to try to like get away or something like that, or pop block, and then save rock for that. You're a little too impatient with rocks in general, I would say. And save them a little bit longer for a better opportunity. And like, you're good with rocks, right? Your accuracy is like, I don't know, let's say 50%. But I think you could be like a 60% hitter if you just were a little more patient with them. That's another great example where, like, once again, like, you see the Doom go, you immediately pop rock before actually looking what he's doing. He interrupts you out of it, which is going to buy more time, right? Imagine if you had it now when he has block. You see high guards are a problem. You really should use shield here to save the team. Miss that rock too. All right, so offense went pretty well. I mean, you have 242. It's, I think best time would probably be something like 330, 345, but I think you did a very good job on offense, a very solid offense. Not a lot really to critique, other than I would say rock usage, shield usage like a little bit, and I would say that you cut things a little too close where you rely on the enemy missing, which would have killed you and resulted in much longer staggers. They would have been very problematic if you died in those situations. So that's what I would note. It didn't happen this game, but it'll happen sometimes. And maybe we'll even see it on defense. Okay, on defense, their Sigma is like, okay, they're losing the Sigma mirror, which I would agree with. It goes for Ramatra. Sigma versus Ramatra is not a matchup that I know a lot about. I just haven't, because, I only play Sigma on Circuit Royale, basically. Circuit Royale, maybe Junkertown sometimes. I have to theory craft a little bit and kind of guess a little bit. So Ramatra's going to try to poke until he becomes a brawl hero, okay? And you're better than him poking, but you're worse than him brawling. So my perspective here is that you need to keep him back, push him back when he's in Omnic form. And then when he goes Nemesis form, you have to give up some space and save rock for Nemesis to make sure that you can knock him back to prevent him from walking over your team. That's the way I would think about this matchup. Whether or not it actually plays out that way, we'll see. You could also consider just going another hero. There's a little bit of a vibe I have here, especially considering how good you are at Sigma, that you kind of feel like a Sigma one trick. I don't know if that's actually the case, but you feel like a Sigma is like a comfort pick for you. And you might have a lot of trouble playing a better hero because you're just worse at playing that hero. So, right now it feels like you're already kind of frazzled. You missed the rock here. Ramacha immediately starts pushing you. I don't think you give this up. So, you're going to pull back here, but I can't really stop Ramacha. You know what I mean? Like, if he wants to run into me, he's going to run into me. It kind of is what it is. You absorb there to make sure you don't get blown up. Now you play back. Okay, fine. I don't know why you're attacking behind the Ramacha. You must assume that somebody would be following him, but you didn't see anybody there, so I just attacked the Ramacha here. Right? Just start poking him down. Somebody's got to. Otherwise, he's just going to keep walking forwards. You give him a ton of space. I don't agree with giving up high ground right now. I think you should stay up here and keep putting pressure on the cart. You drop low, which both A, means you don't have a better attack angle, but B, the Ramacha's now going to walk over the bridge. Right? If you drop, you must think the Ramacha's going to walk over high ground. Then what's my plan? Like, my whole team is clustered over here. I don't think this is going to work out well for you at all. Team gets a kill. You try to attack the Mercy, not much you can do. Alright, you hit the Ramacha. Again, like, you're very obsessed with trying to hit squishies, but they're very far away. It's hard for you to consistently get damage. This is good. But, like, previously, I would say it's hard for you to get consistent damage on them. This is all okay. Like, I think you could have done better here a few times. One thing I'm starting to notice is that you don't bounce off the ground at all. So for example, right here, I would bounce them roughly here so it pops in their faces. So it's either a direct or a large damage splash. But if you look, you actually fire a lot of shots that go past them. You see? You see that one? Right? You should be bouncing these, in my opinion, to make sure that you're landing at least splash damage hits. Like, your direct aim is good, to be clear, but I think that mechanically you could be better with these shots by bouncing. Right? That way, the bounce, so they pop right in their face. It either hits them because it's a direct, if it touches them, or if they strafe out of it, they take full splash damage. You do think about bounces horizontally, right? You bounce them off left walls on the left, walls on the right to get around cover, but you don't think about it against the ground very much, which I think you can get a lot more value that way. I think you need to be a little more conservative with your shield usage, especially when your shield is low, right? Because like, imagine if you had shield right now, you could shut off this overclock. Now you're just relying on the soldier and missing, which I think is not a good plan. Again, shield's so low. I don't think you cut to the right here. I don't think there's a reason to cut to the right. You know, things are going to get better for you over here. Like, your supports can heal you. If your supports can heal you here, they can heal you here. So you can just chill here and use this bit of cover and try to hold this angle. Going over here is going to allow them to open up more. That's going to be very problematic for you. I do not think you cut over here. So you get the Mercy, which is good. I don't know that you needed this because you killed one, right? One's dead and one is rezzing right now. So this is a 5-on-3 temporarily, which is gonna be a 5-on-4 when they res. I think I just shoot the Mercy, honestly. Like, I don't think I try to go for this res for the ulti, because you could have just stepped up here and shot and done like 100 damage to her easily before the res will finish, and then have somebody else kill her. Even if you don't manage to get the kill, it's still a 5-on-4. Like, you're favored to win. I think you should just save your ulti. That was almost a good rock. A really good rock. I think it collides.
But how?
Not so fast.
Yeah, it's close. Unfortunate.
Return to me.
Alright, so they're stuck in a bad position. You're getting hit markers, right? You're still getting hit markers. You can see him. You put the shield up. I think this Baptiste should die here. I don't think you throw a rock. There's no reason to throw a rock there. I think you just keep spamming him and the Baptiste should die. The Baptiste is 40 health. Like, you know you're doing a lot of damage to him. I don't know why you stop attacking. I know from watching it earlier, you stop attacking him there when you could have gotten the kill. And I'm very surprised that you did that. The Baptiste was clearly stuck in a really bad position. You should have gotten the kill. I would consider using grass to eat this. The reason being is just I don't want my team to lose the stair. And this is going to end up messing us up and force us back. Well, it's not actually a great one, but I didn't know that at the time. I would probably have thought about grasping there just to eat that. This is a bad angle to try to rock. Because again, like the shield blocks most of the path and he's walking, like he could be strafing back here. I think you save rock and go to the left and wait until he's in full chase down. He pops that because your team, you really have the shield to kind of block off line of sight. He gets low. I do not agree with walking forward here. Right? Just let ulti expire. Right? Just let ulti expire and play back. So you walk forward, which continues it. You're also walking forward into window for some reason. Now it's a 5-on-1 against you. You're taking a lot less damage than I would expect. Oh, because they're killing your back line. Roger ulti's still up. Again, if you just shielded and kept them back, this would all be over by now. Roger is low, but you're down a lot. You have to step forward and contest the cart. Like, now it doesn't matter, right? Cart's capped, just die. Don't try to live here. Okay. Now they're just farming you and you die. And now that's a big stagger, right? As soon as you saw the cart moving forwards, like about the cap, you should have done what their Sigma did. Remember when their Sigma's like, he walked forward to the cart even though it's clearly a bad fight for him? Yeah, that's what you should do, right? Once, like, you can stall for time all you want. This is fine, right? But once you get to here, you're like, I need to walk to the cart no matter what. At this point, it does not matter. My life is irrelevant. Because if they cap, like, it's not gonna matter if we win the fight anyway. You should just walk forward and just die right there. I think this is a silly stagger that's gonna cost you about 15 seconds. And if people get picked, it costs you another 15 seconds. So you dying there costs 30 seconds. Is it the Torb's fault for dying? Yeah, absolutely, right? But I mean, it's a pocketed sojourn. Picks will happen. Right? I think, you know, even at GM, it's all about trying to make the game easier for your teammates, right? Make it harder and harder for them to make mistakes. And one of the things that helps is if you don't make mistakes. If you've been here from the beginning, that Torb probably doesn't die because you're able to cut off the angles for the sojourn. But you weren't, and the Torb died, and now you're going to go into a 4-on-5 situation. Roger's putting a lot of pressure on you. Again, you're too far away. So look at where your orbs are go. Actually, I guess you are too far away. It is on target. It's just not directs. So I personally do not like this ulti. Obviously, we also saw how it went. I don't like this ulti because your team can't help you. Your team is still trapped inside. Your soldier's out, but like she's clearly, I mean, you're not going to know this, but she's not looking at the rest of the team. I like ultis where I can virtually guarantee that my whole team can shoot so someone dies, or I can get a kill. Attacking the one who's being pocketed by the Mercy is not a great call. So Sigma's DPS is like, I don't know, in the order of like 100 damage a second or so. The Mercy's healing for 55. The Baptiste is also trying to heal while in the air, right? Plus Lamp. I think this ends up being a really bad ultimate. I think you should show like a little more patience there. So, advanced level thoughts. You have the control of the right side of this pillar. I think everyone would agree that. They're not peeking the right side. But they are still shooting at your team. So, left side is open. You see the dragon coming in. I think the correct call is to throw the shield on the left to help save your Torb. Because your Torb is cut off by the dragon and cannot go anywhere else. So, I think you should have thrown shield to the left to save your Torb. I think that would be a top GM level move, is to figure that out in real time. Yep, go for the Sojourn, range overextended. So you keep throwing up shields that I feel like do not give you any value. Right, this shield has 300 health. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna like block a little bit of damage, but I don't know. You do this a lot, and you're not really letting your shield regenerate as much as, because I'm sure you understand how the shield regeneration mechanic works. I'm not gonna explain it to you, but I would think about getting some more health. Like 500, totally fine, but also they have a window right now, so this is gonna get obliterated. So I don't think you had a good reaction to window here. Window's up. Just play here. Just play right here. Crouch if you need to, right? spam, bounce things, stay alive. Your team like use a shield. Your shield bought your team time to react to this. Maybe. No. Yeah, the shield's like useless. You put it up way too late. I would have thrown shield up right away. I'm not expecting to get any kills here. There's 5 people here. Both supports are alive. The Baptiste, Freddy, regen. I'm not getting any kills. Just throw up shield, give your team a little bit of time to survive, and then play. I'm sorry. Play your life right here. Right? Play your life. Wait the window out. Force them to come up to you where your team can help, and rely on your team being smart enough to not die to the window. But instead, you go over the top. You throw a shield selfishly. You're still jumping. As I mentioned, you jump way too much, and really get punished for it right here when you jump over the top, and everyone's able to shoot you when you get obliterated. Yeah, way too much jumping. I'm surprised. You probably don't play DPS very much, would be my guess, based on the amount that you jump. Tanks can get away with jumping a lot because like you have so much health and defensibilities already, but DPS like cannot get away with that at high levels. So you just get obliterated. So one thing to think about here. Like macro level. Let's talk about that, right? It's a great thing to talk about in GM. How many fights do you want between here and the end? As many as you want, obviously, right? How many fights do you want? How many losses do you have to go through? Okay? So the problem here is I'm afraid that this cart, I've not seen this part of the replay. I'm afraid the cart, you're going to give up way too much space for the cart, and that you're going to have your first team fight like over here, let's say. And then the second team fight will basically be right here in a bad situation. What you really want is 3 team fights. You want one right at this very hard to take choke, then the second somewhere between here and here, and then the third fight on point. So I would be thinking in my head, I want to get 3 fights. And of course, when I say fights, I mean losses, right? Three team fights that you lose. Every single one, if you win it, you get more losses, right? I want 3 strikes, basically, chances before the end. But if you give up too much space here, you're only going to get 2 strikes, which is going to mess you up really badly. Especially against Grandmaster, who's able to control the tempo so well against you. Right? So right now, you give up a lot of space here. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So the E gets popped, but I think there's a world where you decide, because you're right here when you get hit, is where you step forward and play right here. As Sigma, I think I want to be playing right here, and like maybe right here. Okay? At least until this expires, and then I can drop down, right? One of these 3 spots. 1, 2, 3, something like that. And I think giving up this much space is going to put you in a bad position later. Watch your shields up, cards move forwards, especially since you have Torb too, right? Where Torb's really good at hard holding a space, but when it's a chaotic fight, like a rolling fight, Torb gets much worse. Torb's popped overload. I don't think you're being nearly aggressive enough right now. Right? Rushes up, start pushing. Like you're committed to using the rush anyway, and I think Kiriko's making the right call here, which is like we need to fight, right? Not fighting will result in losing. We have to fight. And so you like walk into that again. I would be walking forward right now. Like the rest of your team has the right call here. Your instinct is wrong to be playing slow. You put the shield up. This is not a good shield. You really want the shield to be here, right? Helping cut off the rest of the team. You want to be walking forward right now, even popping grasp proactively to make space. But there's no space for your team. Okay, let's look at this again. So Kiriko rushes up. Torb's like, okay, let's use this, right? He pops overload. He wants to go in, right? He puts a turret down. He's trying to shoot. He's like, wait, I can't walk forward because my tank's not walking forwards, and he's forced back. And you'd use a Kitsune rush here that does nothing. You know what I mean? Like you just popped ulti, you popped overload. Like, what's the point now? Right? The Hanzo on the high ground is definitely a problem. And then now you pop it with 35 health. This feels like you're very flustered and you just don't know what to do. Yeah, I think this is tough, and I think this is probably gonna be a big part of why you end up losing. All right, so you end up having that fight. You come out as Doomfist. Okay, not a hero that I play at all, so I'm, can't necessarily speak very much on the mechanics here, but we'll see how this goes. I think that dive in general is probably a reasonable plan. That's good. Get pretty low here. You get super low here. So I don't think chasing I think it's because you want to stop the cart, and I get that, but like distance doesn't matter here because you capped all the way. So, and this is an overtime. The Ramatra's not gonna like solo do this. I think you need to chill a little bit, but also you don't have block. Where'd you use block? Yeah, when did you use block? Oh yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so you waste this block, and then when you drop down, you should have been able to use block against the Ramatra to buy time. But instead, you can't. You take that big shot, you jump out of the way instinctively. Now you're being healed, but the problem is now you're desynced with your team, right? Now you kind of lost tempo, even though your team got that pick. And you still are not fully healed, because your Kiriko's only coming up just now. You've lost one, you're about to lose another. I think you have to go right now. You play black. Okay, that's also fine. Like, you want to play for reset, but if this is what's happening, you need to get way out. You need to like go all the way back to spawn or something to avoid continuing Ramatra ulti. Right? You're single-handedly continuing this Ramatra ulti by yourself. You could have gone back to spawn, waited a few seconds, and then come out and contested. Like, you have plenty of time here. You see? Like, this is a big time bad move by you. Guessing that you're probably not much of a Doomfist player. I think Winston would have been stronger in that situation. I think even Ryan would have been stronger.
I don't think you understand the gravity.
Hog potentially, definitely not my first pick, but I think Winston could have done work. Diva.
Boy. Hello. I don't.
Alright, so you should expect the Ramatra again, right? So if you pick Sigma here, you should think they're gonna run Ramatra, right? You know they have to run Ramatra because they were so effective on Ramatra and they were so ineffective on Sigma. I would 100% expect a Ramatra here. So you must pick this knowing that you're gonna be facing Ramatra and feel comfortable with that matchup. So you should think, what did I do wrong in the previous round? And what am I gonna correct this time to do a better job of defense? Otherwise, you're just gonna repeat the same mistakes. Same thing. He goes up, takes high ground. He's popped Nemesis now at least. Alright, so now you try to hold high ground, which I think is the right call. I think you should be forcing the Ramatra off now. I think right at this point, when they start ducking, I would immediately go and start contesting the Ramatra from this room and force him back. Because letting him set up, right, to go after the rest of your team with the next Nemesis is going to result in your whole team wiping. Right? Go after this Ramatra. Like, when he doesn't have Nemesis, you need to 100% go after the Ramatra. You're not going to low ground. That's good. That's fine. Again, I don't know that you want to actually give this up right now. Because you can... his Nemesis form is over. He's on low ground. He's got to wait for the next Nemesis form. Which is... What is it? Like, 8 seconds or so? Yeah, 8 seconds. So you have 8 seconds to do whatever you want. You must use this downtime to get value. And I think that value probably starts with forcing out the soldier and back onto low ground. Right? You're giving him so much space, which if I'm the Ramatra, it's like, great, fine, give me space. Like, I'm just waiting for my Nemesis to come up, and then I'll pop and kill your team. You know? I think you're respecting the Ramatra too much here. Again, when Nemesis is down, I think you have to fight him. Miss another rock. You feel frazzled now. Like, your whole aim and everything feels like off now. Right? You have overhealth here from grass, but you're not fighting. The card's just moving non-stop. You're not stopping the card at all. Right, now you just have to walk forwards. You got a pick, which is great. You can't interrupt the res. That's fair. Don't think how much you can do about it. Okay, shield's up. I think Y is not the target of Ramatra shield. Stop jumping, please. I think your team is mostly just carrying you right now. You're not really like landing a lot of hits or anything. The rock on Ramatra was good. I think that was high value, the rock, and I think that's important to remember and save that. That's what I predicted at the beginning of the game, as you might remember, which is not having a lot of experience with this matchup. I would think I really need to save rock for Nemesis form to prevent him from getting value. Because he can't do anything if he can't get close to people. So you go ahead, you pop this ulti. which is, I guess there's 10 seconds left, so that's okay. Yeah, I mean, getting killed, yeah, I think this is reasonable, right? 10 seconds left, just be watchful for res. I think seeing how low that Sojourn was, Dragon's here, though. I definitely would have thought about dropping, but with Dragon, I think this is a better call not to. You also saw the Mercy, though. Right? You see this Mercy. You see the Mercy take the hit. It's like hard, but you see the Mercy take the hit. You should have gone right here and killed the Mercy. You drop down. I think that's fair. Soldier trying to touch cart, which he has to. Yep, melee. Mercy goes for the res, which we expected. I don't know if she's going to make it in time or not. Okay, good hold. Good hold. 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I don't think you use that grasp. If they're not looking at you, don't use the grasp. It's better to keep the damage pressure on. It's okay to take some damage before grasping. You're like a little too conservative with grasp. Yeah, I would say you're probably too aggressive with rock, too aggressive with shield, too conservative with grasp. In terms of, or maybe too aggressive, like you click it too much, right? We could define aggressive as click it too much versus click it too little. Too aggressive with the grasp as well then. Right, it's okay to take some damage. But I don't think you drop there. Basically, what's a win here, right? What's a win? A win is the Ramatra popping Nemesis and running at me. That's a win for me. I'm like, great. I'm just going to rock you and I'm going to walk away. You know? That's a win. I want to bait out Nemesis when he doesn't want to use it. That's what you should be thinking of, is I want to keep the damage pressure. Like, obviously, get kills and squishies if you can. But for the tank matchup, if I can bait Nemesis when he's this far away, that's good. Because then he can't do anything with it, right? Great. Pops Nemesis. Just, avoid him. And then when Nemesis is about to end, repush. I would be concerned about where your healing is coming from right now, because you're obviously not getting any, so I would look back and be like, hey, what's going on over here? Well, Mercy's pocketing, your Baptiste's dead. Okay, so you do need to chill right now. Alright, Mercy's coming up to heal you. Missing that rock is bad, no reason to miss that one. I think in this situation, you see this DPS is pocketed by the Mercy, and the Baptiste can heal as well. I think you just tack the Ramatra, right? Just come back here, play the stair, play safe, right? Slow the fight down, fight the Ramatra. Okay, just fight the Ramatra. In mage form, you're more efficient than he is at trading, for sure. Take the little wins here. Right? I don't think you're going to get a big win right now killing the backline. Now you're overextended, right? Again, Echo's up here in trouble. You miss another rock. Baptiste is overextended. Try to get him. Again, Nemesis is happening right now. This shield is not the value that you want. I was like, the Ramatra is like 2/3 health right now. It's not that big a deal. I think you're trying to shield off so to prevent the healing, but everything else is kind of going wrong. I think pushing in right here is not a good call. You just get blown up. I think, first of all, you have to recognize that your Baptiste was dead and respawning. A. B, you have to recognize slowing the fight down and waiting until I have more resources before I can continue this fight. Getting crazy aggressive here is not working for you. They have too much healing, they have too much sustain, right? They have better position, they have everybody up. Give your DPS like a little more chance to get a fight, get a kill, And they've been getting kills all game long. It's not like their DPS are a problem here. Farm ulti, that's fine. Yeah, like, what's that shield, right? It's only at 200 health anyway. It's not that big a deal. All right, good rock. I'm surprised you waited to do this. Again, you want the shield back? Yep. I don't know why Baptiste is AFK right now. It's really unfortunate. He got very low. I would just die right now because I don't think it's likely that you can get out of here. Yeah, I think you're wasting time staggering. Oh, unfortunate. Your support disconnected. Okay, you've gone ball. You're very clearly not a ball player. Like, what is this? I think you thought you'd like spit up and knock him back, but that's not the dimensions or how this works. If you do a slam, it's not a good slam. You're stuck in the middle. You're not able to go for back line. Now you don't have slam. You only have 8 seconds. You have plenty of time to go any of the here. You do not have to go ball here, for the record. Now you go over here, wasting time. You really should have taken the opportunity to go back here and get the mega. It all kind of goes awry from there. So, what to say? number one, focusing on ability usage. I think shield, you're putting it up too often. I understand there's snipers and things like that, but you're putting up too often, too low, not letting it regen enough health. Number two is for your rock. I think there are times where you should be a little more patient. Like, have a realistic appraisal of whether or not you can hit somebody with a rock here. And if you think the odds are not good, just save it. And probably as the fight continues, you'll get a better opportunity for rock. And at a minimum, holding rock is more value than you might imagine, because the enemy will play differently if they know you don't have rock. You know, the Sojourn won't slide in until she sees you use rock. When you use rock, she can slide in and kill a squishy. So even just not using the rock can in itself be valuable. This is GM, right? Everyone's tracking everyone's abilities. There's no way they're not going to notice if you throw a rock. So that would be number two. Number three is grasp. I think you're too eager to grasp at times. And make sure like you don't take damage. I think if you're at 450 health or above, you probably don't need to grasp, and you should just take a chance. And sometimes it reduces your damage, and sometimes it also just means you don't have grasp when you really need it. So 4, ultimates. I think your ultimates are generally not very good, and I think you already identified that. You kind of get a little bloodthirsty because your mechanics are good, right? Your core, like aiming, securing one-shot combos, etc., like movement is good for sure. And you like get kills and you just want to keep it rolling, and you use the ulti to try to keep that like that kill chain combo going, not really thinking about whether it's the right situation for it. And I think you need to be much more analytical and self-critical about, is this an ultimate I need? 1, 2, is this a fight that we really need to win? For example, if you just capped first point and they all drop down to fight and they're like killing off your team, even if you could use that to win a fight, it's not necessarily a good one. Right? You could be like, you know what? Fine. We'll respawn like right outside our door. I'll save ultimate for the next fight. And just accept that I'll lose this one. Like, you don't seem... that's actually a good point right now. Is that, I don't know, it's like 0.5 or whatever. Is you don't seem to accept that some fights are okay to lose. You try to win every fight, even when it's not a good idea. And you invest resources, whether or not it be ultimate or time, to try to turn every fight around. You know? It's like... I don't know if you're American or not, but imagine football, okay? In football, if you're down by 2 touchdowns and they only have a minute left to play in the game, I don't need to prevent you from getting a first down, okay? I just need to prevent you from going all the way across the field and scoring a touchdown in one play. That way you can convert an onside kick and then get a second, magical Hail Mary touchdown for a win, right? And in football, coaches would tell their teams to play prevent defense, which is like, give them 5-10 yards. Like, even if we're pretty good at defending that, give them 5 yards. Give them 10 yards. Just don't give them 80 yards to score all the way across the field. That's the kind of problem I kind of see here at mentality, is that you don't really know, like, when are fights that I don't need to fight. Simultaneously, I would say there are times where I don't think the Ramattra really threw you off on defense because I think you did better in overtime, but before overtime in the regular defensive round, you didn't push up and force them to take the space away from you enough, even when you had plenty of health. And I think that's a very interesting to note. I think that was especially relevant on first point and last point, where it felt like you could have contested more and gotten more team fights in to give your defense more of a chance to win it. Yeah, and I think personally in the Sigma versus Ramattra fight, I think that you need to be more aggressive when in Omnic form and more defensive in when he's in Nemesis form. And also for the ultis, just like continuing the ulti for no reason is a problem. Also, the other tanks that you selected, Doomfist and Ball, neither one of which look like you actually know how to play those heroes. If Sigma is the only tank that you could play at this level, that's going to be kind of a problem, right? Like, especially if you get to top 100 and people recognize you because they see you game after game after game, people be like, oh, that's Leo. He's the Sigma one trick. Like, just go dive. And then you will drop out of top 100, right? Once people get to know you, when you're not playing against randoms every single match and playing at the same... Like, I remember at the very top, when I played, like, I got, like, 41-50 or whatever in GM, which would be GM 4, probably, in the new ranking system. Like, when I played, you see the same players every single match. Like, I would say, 60% of the players were people that I had played with before when I was playing regular in GM. That's going to happen to you, too. Everyone's going to learn what everybody else can play. If your only hero you can play is Sigma at that level, it's going to be a problem, unless you get crazy good at Sigma, right? But I don't think you're quite that good to stay in top 100 as Sigma. But maybe I'm wrong, right? Again, we'll see what happens. Okay, I think it's a pretty good list of things to think about. Hopefully it's helpful.